Hey there, Bear Club! At the Mama Bear Initiative, we explore how to protect ourselves so we can protect our cubs, the people who depend on us. Join us and get the confidence you need to stay safe, make good choices, and protect yourself and those you care about. Let's go!
Hello?
Hello.
Taking off my glasses.
Hello.
And welcome back to the Mama Bear Initiative podcast. I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
I'm Rochelle Knapp.
Yeah, we were just talking about, we don't know what we planned on talking about.
Oh, the humanity.
We're women in our 50s.
And I didn't
Our
write
short-term
it down.
memories are our short-term memories are shot.
Well, thankfully, Rochelle, being the youngest in the 50s, she remembered.
Yes,
Thank
I did,
God.
thankfully. I think I came up with it or something. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know who came up with it, actually.
You expect us to
I think
remember that
I
now?
think it was me.
Probably.
I think it was me because I did a reel on what we're going to talk about, and you were talking
That's true.
about something that was normal but felt weird, and
Yes.
so we're going to talk about how normal feels weird
It's weird.
when you're in trauma recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah. So take it away, Calgon. Wait, your name's Rochelle. Sorry. Take it away, Rochelle.
So the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, it actually started probably about 2 years ago, but I became self-aware about 2 weeks ago of changes I've been trying to make in my life that are positive, that are good and healing for trauma. I started to, out of desperation, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, rewire my brain for how I think about food and things like that. In the last couple of weeks or so, I've been really trying to do things to intentionally help myself through trauma. And I've been triggered so much lately, and I think I've actually been triggered all along, but I hadn't really felt it. But I wasn't really doing anything to help myself to put effort towards working through my trauma, working through healing, making good and positive changes. I think it's the awareness that's becoming evident. But it all feels very strange. It makes me feel super vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep expecting someone to punish me, which I know isn't going to happen realistically, but that's how it feels. And I really thought that I was going to feel good about it, which I do to some degree, but it mostly feels really, really bad. It just feels intense. Maybe not bad's not the right word. It feels intense. That'd be a better way of putting it. There's a lot of emotion involved, a lot of just not sure why I feel the way I feel about certain things, stuff like that.
So are you talking about normal stuff, or are you talking about like your emotions and your feelings and your, because it sounds like you're talking about emotions and feelings.
Yeah, maybe that's the wrong tag. I'm sorry.
The wrong tack.
The wrong subject.
Are you being tacky in the wrong way?
I think it's more like wrong lever, crunk. That's
Why do we have that lever?
Why do you even have that lever? Yeah, no, I don't think it's wrong to talk about what you're talking about, but we talked about when normal feels weird. Am I the only one who has the most experience with normal in this little trifecta?
I mean,
Possibly.
I've had blips of normal.
Blips of normal.
I had one today that sort of shocked me.
Okay, well, I feel like so maybe I'll talk about what I mean when I say normal feels weird. So my family was sitting around the dining room table and we're planning something that was going to happen that day. So I think my son needed to get somewhere, and we're just sort of talking about it and figuring out what to do. And I realized that I felt really weird about that conversation. It was totally calm. respectful, kind even. Like, and I'm sitting there going, why do I feel weird about this? Why do I feel weird about a completely normal conversation? I realized that pretty much anything that feels normal is just weird to me. And that's a thing to overcome, because I feel like if I'm experiencing normality and it feels weird to me, I kind of want to sabotage it to make it not normal again, because I'm more comfortable with not normal.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does make sense. I remember a time when, if there wasn't some sort of chaos going on, I felt very abnormal. It's a long time ago, but I remember that being the case. And they're not.
Are you talking about when you were kids? When we were kids?
When I was a kid, young adult.
Okay.
If things felt quote unquote normal, it felt very weird. And
yeah, because our household was nothing but chaotic all the time. And our mother was the queen of terror. Yep. And, our stepfather added to the chaos with his own anger at our mother for being how she was. And she pretty much took everything out on us. They were constantly fighting. She was taking stuff out on us. And if we were I remember one night, you may remember this, Rochelle, we were sitting around having tacos for dinner. And I think I threw some taco meat at Bob.
I remember that.
And next thing you know, I was there. He was there. I said their names out loud. I'll bleep it. Our younger siblings were there. And we were just throwing food at each other. Whole entire kitchen was covered.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yes.
And I actually have, good feelings associated with it, but it was rare.
Very.
Very, very rare. And the only time I can really remember a mother actually being kind to us is if we got sick.
Yep.
She behaved normally if we were sick. She'd bring us, comic books and coloring books and food or whatever, medication, whatever. Which was so strange, because I felt like the rest of the time when we were perfectly fine, she either ignored us or was abusing us in some way.
Yeah.
If she was home. And the other thing was, she's often not home. She's out doing things like spending all the money.
Yeah.
So when you live in that situation and something normal is happening, you're kind of like, when's the next shoe gonna drop?
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that there was far and few between times of normalcy in our family, and they got fewer and fewer as time went on, and I grew up. It was pretty much chaos all the time, and up until I moved out when I was 23. And I was just thinking about something that feels normal but feels weird, and that's within our martial art and actually having friends and camaraderie. It's so much fun, but it feels very strange. Even after all this time, it still feels very, very strange to me to actually have people who like me, who want to help me, and we help each other. We're a community, even if we're small. Like, it feels good, but it feels very, very weird. I thought about that as you were talking. That's something I can talk about that is in that category of something that's quote unquote normal, but feels very strange. And when someone's missing or gone, I feel that too, which I never experienced that before either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an experience today. I had mentioned about something that shocked me. Well, so I was at work and I was learning something new. Now, when I'm getting ready to learn something new, especially if it involves tech, my immediate response is to freak out and go, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm going to screw up. They're going to be mad at me. So I have all these, in my head. So what I did was I thought, okay, I'm going to be in charge of this project while this coworker's away. She's giving me plenty of time to learn it. I can learn it in a capacity where if I mess up, it doesn't matter because we're not going to use that document anyway. So I thought, okay, let me just get in there. I kept avoiding it. And then I went, all right, let me just get in there. And then to make it worse, she goes, okay, when's a good time to meet today? Because I'd like to sit with you and you do it and I'll be there to help. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be put on the spot. Oh no, she's going to expect me to know what I'm doing. And so here's what actually happened. We had scheduled the meeting. She came over. She's like, you ready? And I'm like, sure. And thought, I feel calm. Okay. So she goes, well, show me what you got. Now I had been working on this thing. So I just pulled it up and I'm all like, and she goes, oh yeah, that looks good. And I was explaining to her what I did and what I was doing so far. And she goes, oh yeah, that's really good. And then she was guiding me through a part that we hadn't really talked about yet. And I was not like, normally what would happen is I would have to fight to stay there and pay attention. So it was like, dissociating or whatever. Instead, I felt like I was working with a coworker. And then after she left, I started to implement some of the things she said. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm getting this. And then I thought, wait. Why am I not upset? Why am I calm? Why do I feel good? Why do I feel this sense of accomplishment? Why do I feel confident? And I was like, is it okay? Is it okay? Poking it. Is it real? And I was like, okay.
Poking it.
Enjoy it. And I thought,
dink.
How cool. Like for at least a while, none of the trauma stuff was getting in the way. And I could, with a clear head, interact with another person, interact with a program that had previously freaked me out. And I made progress and everything. But yeah, it felt weird because it's normal, but it hasn't really been normal for me.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Let me tell you, I rode that wave all the way till I clocked out today.
As well you should.
Because what I was able to do, I thought, all right, let's make the most of this. I was able to tackle a project that, I don't know, poking at things apparently is a theme. I've been poking at this project, but not quite finishing it.
Yeah.
And then I went in with a clear head and, as we say, and at work, I zhuzhed it up and was able to send it in and then finish out the day. I was like, woo! And then I got a little bit triggered and, whatever. But that was unrelated. And
yeah.
But I rode the normal and it was beautiful.
I like when people say zhuzh because I feel like this is what's going on.
Zhuzhing. We're zhuzhing it up.
Like I have this napkin here. I'm going to zhuzh it.
That's kind of the sound.
Zhuzhing the napkin.
I first heard my supervisor say it. I work as an editor. So she was talking about, we got to zhuzh up this piece. And I was like, zhuzh? What's she talking about? What's a zhuzh? Is it French? What's a zhuzh? It really means to improve it.
Zhuzh
so guess what?
I was like, verb, I guess.
I went, wait a minute. I couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, what was that word again? And then she very happily explained it to me. So it's just kind of polish something up, but it's fun to say. Zhuzh.
Yeah.
Yes, it is fun to say.
So you got your day zhuzhed by something normal.
Yeah. It was nice to just calmly and confidently do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of just thought of something, and maybe this is a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about my job, which I've been at for 8 years. It feels pretty normal for the most part. Do you think that normal, something you've been doing for a long time, this kind of habitual, can be considered just normal? Like it's just a normal part of your life? Because when I'm at work, it's very seldom that I have any real anxiety about anything. It's kind of a break from the rest of my life, to be honest. I mean, it definitely has its downside, but I kind of don't have to be in that constant state of, or not constant state, but often state of anxiety or triggered or whatever. Do you guys think that could be something considered normal?
Yeah. So something my therapist brings up is, because this happens to me a lot, and you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. You're doing something that's normal. Like, let's say we're at the dojo on a Tuesday night and I'm teaching and it's going well. Everybody's happy. Things go well. Class ends well, et cetera, et cetera. But later on, I'll start to worry about it. Something that happened or didn't happen. So while I'm doing it, it feels good and it feels normal because I'm in a completely different part of my brain. It's later on when I get outside of this moment and into a different place that probably my limbic brain takes over and starts worrying about everything. So yeah, I think it's possible for you to sort of be in a normal bubble in certain environments that you're used to.
Yeah.
But I don't have too many environments that I'm used to where I feel completely normal all the time. I think here at home, I feel good. At the dojo, if I'm teaching, if I'm the student, it's different. But if I'm teaching, that's another bubble. And then maybe hanging out with you guys, and that's it.
Yeah.
Those are my three, outside of that, going to church, interacting with people out in public, going to parties, whatever it is. I always feel weird and awkward and, out of sorts, and like I have 10 arms and 5 heads, and
relatable.
I end up hiding in the corner or just acting really weird if I'm trying to connect with people. I actually had a therapist train me how to interact at parties, and I tried it out at the next party that I went to. It was a baby shower, and my normal thing to do is to find the kitchen and stay there until called to something else, and I don't talk to people. But this woman just randomly came in the kitchen because that's where I was at. She came into the kitchen and started talking to me and asked me questions. And this is exactly, so this happened before I talked to my therapist. So I told her about that, and she's like, well, this is how you handle, how you start a conversation, how you keep a conversation going, like normal connection behavior, I guess. And I don't know why I got on that tangent. Why did I say all that? Oh no. I think I was trying to answer your question. Anyway, that's all I have to say at the moment.
Yeah. It's funny today while I was riding the normal, without the anxiety, because normally I'll go to work and I'll sort of hide in my office, and it's great because I can kind of peek out because I don't really have a door. I don't have a door. It's not that I don't really have one. There is no door, but I can be like out of view unless I choose to be in view, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I'll hear somebody or something, and sometimes I'll poke my head out or something. But today I just started to talk to a coworker while I was not feeling anxiety, and I was able to keep the conversation going without a whole lot of what should I say now going on in my head, and I got to keep it going or it's going to fall off, and it's or maybe I could just end it now and run away. Instead, I just had this like normal conversation talking to my coworker about her skirt and how pretty it was. And I was like, you look like you could be walking down the beach in that. She goes, oh yeah, here's where I got it. Yeah, nice little chit chat. I don't do chit chat really well, but I was able to do chit chat like a coworker, like we were equal.
Okay, I think we need a little context on that whole chit chat thing because you do chit chat very well.
Oh, I do well with you guys.
Yes, but in certain contexts you don't.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. So I can be a bit of a chatterbox with my friends.
A bit.
Okay. Okay. And this has been a phenomenon pretty much my whole life. If I found my little crew, I was real chatty with them. And we were like, la, 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 la. Get outside of my crew. And I'm like,
I'm exactly the same way. Put me in a group of strangers and I'm like,
Yeah, me too. Are we all introverts here? I think we are.
I don't think I'm an introvert. I mean, I definitely get a recharge. I get a recharge from being alone, but I also get a recharge from being around people. So I'm an ambivert.
Gotcha.
yeah. I've found that it depends on the people. Like we keep mentioning the dojo, but I
Right.
feel energized. And there's another group
True.
that I go to where I just, I could just stay there and talk all night to these people, I just feel happy and recharged. It's outside of that. There again, we were talking about the little bubbles. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, this is my little safe bubble with my safe friends where I can be chatty, I can be myself, I can be open.
Right.
And they've proven themselves to me and I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like I passed a certain barrier, right? And now, okay, I can be myself. And then I got to try to, scale back on the chit chat a little, let somebody else get a word in. But stepping outside of it, then it's like,
So maybe normal feeling weird is about normal feeling safe or not.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking about that because if you're in
Yeah.
a group of people you like and you trust, you feel safe. Because I definitely feel safe around the people at the dojo. Like I definitely feel like I can trust them, and they've seen me in some very emotional situations and have been very, very kind. So I feel safe there for sure. So it does feel strange, but it also feels good.
Yeah.
It feels strange to feel safe.
Yeah. But it also feels good at the same time because it gives me a sense of community and camaraderie that I've never really had before.
Yeah. Plus, there's that feeling of you're not like walking around. You can just relax, rest,
Yes.
be at ease, and not be on hyper alert, hyper vigilance.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
funny.
I'm not reading in all these negatives into eye rolls or whatever. I can just relax and just let it be what it is. Steph's got something going on here.
No, I'm just thinking about what I put myself through last week. You said when you read too much into eye rolls, and I'm thinking about all the inner drama that had to do with reading too much into a situation.
Yeah. We can be very, very imaginative. We can be darn good storytellers. Crafting a narrative that sounds so real, and then we believe it. And then, meanwhile, here's what we're thinking. The truth is way out there somewhere. It's like, but what we're thinking feels real because we've seen the evidence, we feel it, we have experienced something like it in the past. This is just like when this girl did this to me. It's happening again, whether or not we're fully conscious. So, like, all the warning bells are going off.
Yeah. Well, has anybody had this experience? Okay, I have to go to this place to do this thing. Walk into place. Oh, there's 10 other people here. Oh, that person looks grumpy. Oh, I got to talk to that clerk. Oh, she looks like she's having a bad day. Ah.
Can I go
Sounds
now?
familiar.
Can I go now?
What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yes.
That's all going on in my head while I'm standing there like this.
Yeah.
Right? And that is definitely about a feeling of safety.
Yeah.
And I bet my interactions with whoever it is I'm interacting with, like I'm going to go to LabCorp tomorrow and get some blood drawn. Now, I'm going to the same place I normally go, so I'm kind of used to them. But the first time I walked in, I was like, inside. I'm not acting like that outwardly.
Right.
But on the inside, I'm like, ah! And I still get a little weirded out when I go back to get my blood drawn because I don't know who's going to walk into the little room that I'm in. Because, it's not always the same person.
Yeah.
Right.
And how are they going to treat me? Because sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're grumpy. Yeah. And, depending on how grumpy they are, they might poke me too hard.
You don't want a grumpy phlebotomist.
No, you really don't.
Well, I had one phlebotomist poke me so hard my arm was squirting blood.
Oh my gosh!
She took the needle out. Yeah, and I'm like,
what, she hit an artery? What the heck?
I don't know what she did, but it hurt when she did it.
Oh,
and she was like,
goodness gracious!
And I'm like, oh, she's like, hold your arm above your head,
like you did this.
Fix it. And then it hurt for a while after. They don't usually hurt for like more than an hour, if that.
Right. Generally.
But I'm a little like, who's coming in? Are they going to be nice to me?
Mm-hmm. And it's things you can't control. You can't control somebody else's attitude. You can't control how many people are in a place. You can't control the mood of the place, the mood of the people around you. I mean, it can feel like I feel out of control here. I don't feel safe here.
You can't even talk about it. The best you can do maybe is set boundaries in the situation, like walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you can't I'm going to sit here for 5 minutes with this clerk while she takes my insurance information and my payment, whatever, and then she's going to send me on my way. What benefit is there in having a conversation with how grumpy she sounds?
Yeah. I had an experience like that the last time I had to get medical tests done. The clerk was very grumpy, and the phlebotomist was very nice and very funny, and we laughed and we joked and I was like, wow, I'm glad the clerk's not the one taking my blood. That's not the same person.
The picky phlebotomist,
because she was very, very I want to say
that one.
Trying to be efficient, but I think she was a bit grumpy. She did have a lot of people to get through, which I understand. It was very early in the morning, but the phlebotomist was very nice. And I said to her, I'm sure you've probably heard this many times, but I'm a very hard stick. She's like, yeah, I got it. And she got it within the first stick. She knew exactly what to do, but she does it every day, day in and day out. So I'm positive she knew what she was doing, which I'm thankful for.
I say, why can't you guys work at the hospital?
Right. Exactly.
Why can't the phlebotomist do the sticks at the hospital? That's a weird sidetrack, but here we are.
It is a weird sidetrack. But
so
I did have
go ahead.
I had one phlebotomist who was in the hospital a while back. And I wasn't even all the way awake. She was in and out in 5 minutes. Just knew what she was doing. I wasn't even it was 5:30 in the morning. She come in, take the blood, she was gone. I had blood drawn. Okay, I didn't even feel it.
I had a similar experience. I was like, what just happened? And she's like, doot, 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 out the door.
Already gone.
I was like, oh, okay. I like the ninja phlebotomist.
Did she make that sound? Doot, 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 doot.
Well, let's see. That's how I recall it. It could be that I added sound effects.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, back in the podcast session.
Hi, we're back.
Somehow we got seriously sidetracked by phlebotomy.
Not something we expected to happen, but it did.
So we're discussing. Oh my gosh! Discussing. Rochelle asked the question of: is it possible to be in a situation you're used to and feel normal in that situation? And I think we've decided, yeah.
I wanted to tell you guys something cool that happened recently. So it's been about 11 years ago. I went on some antidepressants, and I'm still on antidepressants. But what would happen is I didn't feel horrible, but I also didn't feel good. And so it was almost like I was observing things a lot, but just sort of almost like a scientific perspective or whatever. So let's say, for example, I saw some really pretty flowers. I would think, oh, those are really pretty flowers. Or I would hear a song and I would think, this is a good song. but I didn't feel delight in either thing. And then recently, through some things that have happened, my emotions have been able to open up, even with my antidepressant, which I'm at a pretty low dose at this point anyway. But I started to feel, I was looking at some flowers and I started to feel like, oh, you're so pretty. And I thought, oh, I'm not just, that's a pretty flower, but oh, it's so pretty. And I was like, oh, normal people delight in pretty things. And, and now I'm a little sad to say this, that I've gone to funerals where I felt like I ought to feel sad. And I see the family and I think this must be really hard for them. And it's like I'm trying to feel something. Well, yesterday I went to a memorial service and I started talking to the daughter. And immediately I just I just felt sadness and empathy for her and caring. And I thought, oh, I care. This is normal. And it felt weird, but it was also welcome because it's something I've wanted. And I didn't want to have to fake it. You don't fake tears at a funeral. You know what I mean? You sit there, oh, I should look sad. What does sad look like?
Yeah, I rarely cry at funerals, but I usually just feel very upset. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be going through this. I think I have an abnormal reaction to death and going to funerals and whatnot. But I wanted to say something, Evelyn, because you're talking about recent things that have happened that are normal but feel weird to you. But I also know that lately you've been working really hard at your recovery. So do you think that that those things that you're feeling are correlating with the things that you've been working on?
Yeah. In fact, I was telling my therapist about that. So I talked to you guys about that night that I was up all night and I was feeling really awful. And just, it really freaked me out. But then after that, I started feeling things. And prior to that, I've been doing work and I've been intentionally not running away from doing the work. And then this happened and I thought it was a huge setback. I thought, I'm losing my mind. This is very intense. This is awful. I don't know what to do with it. And my therapist said, it sounds kind of like you had some kind of breakthrough with that. And I was like, ooh. Yeah. But first of all, I've been recognizing triggers. I've been able to identify them and I have been acknowledging, writing about, or intentionally at some point dealing with it. Just it's been like daily now. So I haven't really taken a whole lot of time to put the two together. But if this is the result, then it makes me want to do the work even more. Because I feel like I can feel very sad. I can feel joyful. I can interact normally with my coworkers like I did today.
Or just your surroundings.
Yeah.
Wherever you happen to be. Rochelle, are you finding that you're having, because you're also working on things, are you finding yourself having more normal moments than not?
Yeah. Just feeling things that I should be feeling, I guess, in the moment, like a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of, I actually did that. I actually did that work. And
yeah, you got a test coming.
Yes, I do. It feels real to me.
Yeah.
And the best moment I can think of is just before my pretest. I was trying to calm my nerves, and I thought to myself, I'll never be here again. I said this the last podcast. I'll never be here again. I'll never be in this place where I feel abnormal and I can't do it, and I will have to wait 3 years. I finally surpassed that. And that realization really calmed me down. And it made me feel normal. I know I still have limitations, but it motivated me even more to keep pushing through and keep fighting through the limitations. And I've noticed improvement. Just so you guys know, I had a really bad time with my right knee for many years.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually getting a lot better. And I didn't need the second cortisone shot.
Ooh.
I'm feeling progress. Like funny enough, the things that hurt now are my ankles when I first stand up. Go figure. But I can work on this too. Like, I guess what I'm saying is I finally believe I can actually do it, which is a very, very normal thing to believe about yourself. Very good thing to believe about yourself, but I didn't for a really long time. So feeling those feelings of like, I can actually do this, I can actually accomplish these things, I can actually do the recovery work is very a normal feeling. But for someone like us, people like us, it's different. It feels strange, but good.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, for a long time, I thought, I'm just so screwed up. I don't even know where to begin.
Yes.
And I'm always going to feel, so I started telling myself stories about it. I'm always going to feel screwed up. I'm always going to be, 10 steps behind everyone else, and just these negative stories. And then to actually see some evidence to the contrary, actually having hope, first of all. I think it was the hope that I could get better and seeing some evidence that keeps me going back and working on it.
Yep, exactly.
And then starting to get a little bit of traction. And then starting to see, wait, I was there. I started to see a difference. At first, it was just, I'm just going to work and I was just going to do this because I have to. Because I can't just keep going the way I'm going. I have to do this. But then start to get a little traction, start to get a little more hope, a little more, oh, that happened. And I'm starting to get those moments, like little bright spots, almost daily now. I try to jot them down because it's a new thing and I love it. And I want to look back. One of the things I love, because I have ADHD, I've always had memory problems. I don't know if that's connected or I just have always had memory problems. But when I look back in my journal, even if it's just a few words that spark a memory, I'll go, yeah, that happened. And then I can remember, especially on a hard day, when I'm starting to feel like I'm a screw up and I'm always going to be, the old tapes start playing. But actually getting some traction and going, and I know this has been overused since the pandemic, but I kind of like this new normal, which is like making progress, tiny little step, and sometimes boop, but little boop, but it's slowly going up. And apparently falling back sounds like boop. So just so you know.
I wonder if because I've been in trauma recovery for 35 years this September. I wonder if there's a lot that's normal for me that I sort of take for granted. Because I feel so abnormal. I don't believe I'm normal. And then I kind of like you, Evelyn, I kind of get like all wrapped up in I'm not normal. I stick out in the world, That's what goes on in my head. That kind of thing. I don't do that in the real world, except on a podcast.
Apparently.
You can see what's going on the inside.
But I do know I have not been connected to my emotions all my life. So for me, I feel like when I have a normal emotional reaction to something, and I'll be honest, I don't feel happy. Like I don't, most of the time. There's been recently a couple of times, on a Tuesday night in the dojo, and everybody's working with each other and telling jokes and having fun and working hard. I'm standing over there in my little corner going, oh, they're so happy. I'm happy. Or if things went well and I feel like we made some progress in something, I'm starting to actually feel happy, small moments. But the one thing that I feel like has been the most significant is how I react to stories and like news stories and stuff in movies and TV shows or whatever when they're talking about abuse or trafficking or whatever. I'm like, I feel what I think you're supposed to feel when you hear about that. Although I have to be honest, sometimes I feel a little abnormal in that because it doesn't seem like people get angry enough about that sort of thing. I don't know if they feel angry or they're just so used to it. I don't know what the deal is, but I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I feel good about that normal feeling.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a sign. Like I was asking you guys about, you've made progress. Do you think it's connected to having these more normal moments? And you said yes. And I think it's a sign for me that if I can feel anger about something, that I've had some growth in emotional connection.
I think it's important to talk a little bit about normal, what it is, because I was just thinking normal isn't necessarily how everyone else behaves, because they could be, as you were mentioning about the human trafficking, what is appropriate, what should happen is the upset, the outrage, the desire to, protect or to rescue or to do something about this or make it stop. Or, I think it can be, culturally normal to minimize something, and that's not really normal. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what normal, like a healthy normal, looks like.
Or what we imagine it is.
Yeah. I mean, we're a couple of, or three, really, people who are poking it.
I mean, I observe what other people do, and I think, oh, that must be what's normal. And I don't know. I guess we could talk about what we think normal is. Like what?
I mean, feeling sad when something is sad, feeling happy when something is happy,
Being healthy in your emotions, I guess, in this context.
Being connected.
If you're having a reaction to something that feels normal, like you were talking about, Ev, about being at a memorial service and actually feeling sadness instead of sort of being numb, that's normal. It doesn't mean that it's normal like everybody does that. It means it's normal because it's healthy. Healthy maybe is the word we're looking for. I'm not sure. Because I'm going to talk about my shirt.
Oh.
Is your shirt normal?
Well,
no.
You guys know. For the longest time, I wore almost exclusively black or very dark colors. And I was doing it because, and I didn't really know this until about 2 months ago, why I was dressing that way. Because I had a desire to dress in more colorful clothing. At my job, there's a time when we are required to wear very colorful shirts in the summertime. And I enjoyed it thoroughly this year. And it was only, and it usually used to last 2 months. Not this year, it only lasted a month. So I was a little sad when it was over. And I always get happy when I'm able to wear a different colored shirt to work because it's mostly black. But in my everyday life away from work, I was still dressing pretty much the same. And I started to feel a little sad about that. So this type of clothing, this colorful tie-dye shirt, is actually very normal for me. This is how I've always wanted to dress. I just never actually took the step to do it because I was hiding, which was because of trauma. And in my case, very abnormal. And I'm sure there are people who wear black who are comfortable and that's what they like to wear, and that's totally fine. But for me, it was not normal. And I knew that, but I kept doing it because I didn't want to be whatever my normal was. I wanted to keep hiding behind the black colors, the black color clothing. So that's just one example. And it's healthier for me to actually dress the way I've wanted to dress for so long, or normal, or whatever you want to call it. So it took me about 10 years to get there, but
it's like, yeah.
I think my thoughts on normal center around not abusive.
Mm.
This is okay.
I mean, all things considered.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think my experience with what I considered normal was just how a person is wired. Like every human has emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Every person has feelings. Like you were saying, if something bad happens, it's sad. It's normal to feel sad,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, Rochelle's mentioning that there's an individual range of how sad you might feel
Mm-hmm.
about a situation. But let's say if a puppy dog dies, people generally feel sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have a little bit of a inside.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what's been abnormal is not having any reaction at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm having one, I'm not aware of it. I am not connected to my emotions. So that means I hear about the puppy dog and I feel nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm a sadomasochist or psycho or whatever. It's because trauma has made me disconnect from my feelings. So for me, some of what's I would consider normal is just having actual feelings about things.
Yeah. I had an experience today. I had mentioned about how I was disconnected from my feelings as well. And one of our ladies had mentioned about how her daughter was in a lot of pain after her getting her wisdom teeth out. She just put it in the chat. And my first thought is, what would be the appropriate thing to say here? And then that thought was quickly supplanted by, I actually cared that her daughter was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, I'm so used to trying to think, what's the right thing to say here? Almost like performing to try to be perceived as normal, I still wanted to do the right thing, but before it always sort of felt in a way like just acting and not being genuine. But I wanted to say or do the right thing. And it's so nice to actually feel like I actually cared, and then I was able to say something from that place.
Yeah.
Instead of from what would a normal person write here, Hope she feels better soon or whatever, because that's what you say.
Yeah, I think society has what they consider normal behaviors for their society. So the most extreme example I can think of that I always come back to when this kind of thing comes up is I heard about or read about a tribe somewhere, I think in South America, who basically didn't wear any clothes except for a string. And they felt naked without the string. Okay. So us Westerners feel more normal, fully clothed, pants, shirts, etc. Right?
Right.
So for that society, normal is the string and everything else showing. For us, normal is covering up pretty much everything. Right?
Right.
So I think there are some like standards out there depending on where you live. Like, I don't know, forgive me, French people, but the internet and TV and movies tell us you eat baguettes for breakfast. I don't know if you actually do or not, but that would be normal French behavior if that's a thing.
Right. Yeah.
So I think for me, when it comes to stuff like that, if I'm doing things that's extremely different than what other people do, I feel abnormal.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the way I'm doing it is legitimate. I don't know. But let's say I'm doing it because of trauma. Let's say I'm eating rocks for breakfast instead of baguettes. Okay. I know that's terrible, but let's say that's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm eating the rocks because of trauma. I think I could consider a change to eating baguettes going to being normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's some level of that we can consider. And I think we all kind of know what's normal. And I think we feel freaked out about feeling so abnormal because we're aware of how a lot of people behave and what's expected, what our society does. It's kind of expected that Americans are more forthright and more independent, whatever. And if I am not any of those things for reasons of trauma, that's going to make me feel weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think when it comes to this sort of thing, because of the trauma, we can be operating at a level that's not, well, just as an example. So I've struggled with feeling helpless and wanting people to rescue me and that sort of thing. Actually having to do hard grown-up things, that should be normal for a woman in her mid-50s.
Right.
And I feel that gap.
Yes.
I feel like I'm finally realizing how big the gap is. And I want to be a big girl, doing big girl things.
Put your big girl pants on.
Put my big girl pants on. And that should be, you think about, okay, somebody in her 50s, they know how to get around in the world and do whatever they need to do, but I've had a lot of traumas and a lot of reasons why I'm where I am. But normal, I think Rochelle touched on this. What is healthy? What, and within the framework of our culture, being able to interact with other people without feeling like a child among adults. If you're not one, if you're grown up, I want to get there, where I can function in a way that's mature, healthy. And
I think another part of that is self-sacrificial. That's not selfish. Because I feel like a lot of trauma recovery stuff is like very self-focused.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily, because you need to develop self-awareness.
Yeah.
To the point where you're aware of the gaps, as you're calling them. But I've totally lost my train of thought.
Self-sacrificial.
Oh yeah, self-sacrificial. That's the second time. Dang it.
Heck you, human. Being human.
Wait, is that normal to be forgetful? Get talking.
Yes, it is.
Get talking and then totally forget why you were going there.
It is for us.
Lord. Anyway, yeah. So self-sacrificial, I think, is also because society. There was that video by Heidi Priebe about toxic shame, and she said, and I think I agree with this, that shame in society is meant to guide behavior, right? So if that's the case, it gives us parameters for what's normal
right
behavior, what's aberrant behavior, what's harmful behavior. We go about things that are both aberrant and harmful, mainly to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're striving for normalcy and health. And then when we hit it, we're like, ah!
What is this? What's happening?
Yeah.
I think the idea of the self-sacrifice thing, I was thinking about the project that I'm working on. They're counting on me to do this while the lady's gone. She's counting on me to be able to competently do it. And now's my time to ask questions and, before she goes away. So I felt that, I guess pressure, but in a good way, motivation. Okay, I'm going to learn this so that my goal is while she's gone, that it can just go in there as though she weren't gone. Not that there can't be a mistake, because, there have been some mistakes that have crept in there, but I want to do my best, as opposed to being so focused on this is scaring me or, whatever, to be able to rise to the occasion and put aside whatever is freaking me out so I can get there for the sake of the people around me and for our company.
I had a little bit of an experience tonight or today. I did a reel and was talking about something I started talking about at the beginning of the podcast, which was the wrong lever. And and after I was finished, I felt very triggered and suddenly very emotional. And at first couldn't figure out why, but my normal reaction to that sort of thing is to isolate. And my thought was, if I stay in my room, I won't be around my family. And then I thought, well, I could go downstairs and sit on the couch and just be on my phone, but that's still the same thing. It may not be physical, but it's still the same idea. Mm-hmm. So I had to make myself go downstairs and sit at the table. And it was very, very hard because I kept even mentally checking out when Stephanie tried to talk to me. And I felt that struggle. Like, I felt that I want to be normal in the sense of actually wanting to be around my family, which for me still feels abnormal. But it does feel more normal than it did before. But it's still, when I feel emotional and triggered, my inclination is to run away, whether mentally, emotionally, physically, or all three. But if I go towards it, I pass through it and it was over with and I feel okay now. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the most normal thing I've done in a while as far as thinking through a trigger and not just letting it overrun me to the point where I want to run away. Because I'm pretty sure I've been triggered most of the time, but I just let myself become numb to them or be anxious all the time to where I'm acting weird and hiding and all this sort of thing.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Rochelle, I was making dinner. Excuse me. I was making dinner. And Rochelle came down and sat down next to me as chopping potatoes or something. And she was telling me all about feeling triggered. And I'm like, just feel triggered. Why not just feel it? And then I made a joke and she started laughing. I'm like, am I ruining your trigger?
She did say that, which was pretty funny.
But, it's kind of like maybe feeling triggered is actually what's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe the feelings that came from whatever it is you did your reel about, those are normal feelings. Mm-hmm. Like you would expect that to happen. I guess that's another thing about normality. It's what's expected to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, instead of you let it pass through you, as you said, and then you were fine, which could be a lesson in how to handle triggers.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I feel like it's hard right now for all of us to kind of discern what's normal feeling and what's abnormal feeling about something. Mm-hmm. And we really have to spend time thinking through it. Like, I'm having this reaction to this thing. Is this what's expected? Is this what's healthy? Is this what's, quote, normal? Or is this coming from fear, anxiety, depression, anger, frustration? Like, although I wouldn't consider anger and frustration abnormal. But right. if it's coming from fear or anxiety or whatever, that could be. Yeah, so I'm thinking about, like, if you're standing at the edge of a cliff, what's expected, unless you're some kind of adrenaline junkie, is that you would feel anxious. You would feel fear about being on the edge of the cliff because there's a chance of falling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and getting seriously injured or dying, right? So what's expected is that you would feel something akin to anxiety or fear or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know very many people walk up to the edge of the cliff and go, "Woohoo! I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna die."
Right.
I mean
Not a
that
normal
seems
reaction.
That's not normal.
abnormal,
That is not normal.
right? So in our case, it seems like just the thought of walking up to the cliff is enough to send us into freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And, because maybe we were at the edge of the cliff, so to speak. We saw the danger. We saw the death. We saw
Mm-hmm.
something. It traumatized us. It created a fear. And now just the very thought of it is overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas, allowing yourself to walk up to the edge of the cliff and feeling the fear in the moment is the normal thing.
Yeah. I think it's also really helpful to talk to somebody about it. Like if you're not sure if it's normal or just, I know for myself, I can get in these loops in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
the other day I was triggered by something and Steph and I were hanging out. She knew it. I knew it. I felt just off. I felt weird. I felt awful. I went and took the dog for a walk and I was thinking, okay, I feel like this. Why do I feel like this? What happened? I kind of know what happened. And then I just wanted to get inside and talk to her about it. And I wanted to process it in a healthy way because, I've experienced being blamed for someone else's trigger and blaming other people for my own. And I just wanted to tell her, like, when you said this, this happened, but I'm not blaming you. It's just what happened. And I want to process it in a healthy way. So I'm not going into some, victim mentality or something. I want to process this in a normal way, as opposed to letting it become like a shameful thing or letting it become a way to lash out at somebody else, because if you hadn't said that, then I wouldn't have known that that's not what's going on here. And to be able to talk about it.
The thing you got triggered about, I feel like my reaction was a normal reaction to what was going on. But you got triggered by my normal reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we talked about it, and I was like saying to you, so we were kind of wandering around a little bit on certain aspects of interactions and relationships with people, and how we were talking about oh no. We were talking about putting ourselves in other people's shoes. Like I was told once a long time ago, not everybody's going to like you, or not everybody has to like you, or something of that nature. And I had to think about that. Like, I don't like other people.
Yeah, I mean,
there's people I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So that means other people cannot like me. Like, that's normal behavior. And it's expected. You're not going to like everybody. It'd be weird if you did. Although I have met people who are just happy and meet everybody and just happy to meet everybody all the time.
Yeah.
There are people like that. But for the most part, sometimes we come across someone we're just like,
Yes.
I don't make that face.
You're seeing the inner workings. It's like,
who is this person?
I want to get away from this. Yeah.
But on the outside, you're like, hello, nice to meet you. Not really.
Yeah. How you doing?
So when you're thinking though, like I realized that exposed some thinking on my part, like that it would be devastating for me. Or I actually had to question this because for me, it was always a given. It would be devastating for me to be not liked because I had been bullied, because I had been teased, because I've been treated hatefully. That was like social death. That was awful. People need to like me.
Right.
So now I have to be weird and codependent or whatever, pretend I like people when I don't, or, whatever that, dishonesty that ends up resulting from that. But even to let the thought sink in, it's normal for people to not like me. What?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels weird. Like, because of my trauma, I had things mixed up. But I'm grateful to get a glimpse of normal, because then I think, well, first of all, I see what it is, and then I can also see where I am in relation to it. And then I can be okay with the gap while I get there, because at least I know where I am and what normal looks like. So,
Right.
I mean, it's true that I don't like certain people, and it is true that people don't like me. And even saying out loud, it's like, I don't want people to not like me.
I know.
that's
I feel
normal.
the same way.
But that's normal.
Yeah. It's normal to not be liked by everyone.
Yep. That's
Oh my
true.
goodness.
Wow. We've
oh my goodness.
it's 5 minutes after it's been an hour and 5 minutes.
Plus
Ish. I'm squint. Hold on.
1 hour,
She's
5
squinting.
minutes, and 45
look,
seconds.
it's suddenly clear. The
Funny
clouds
how that
have
works.
parted. Anyway, I think this has been a pretty good talk about
Mm-hmm.
normalcy, and to what we mean when we say normal. And I think it's achievable to feel more normal,
Yeah.
I agree.
to feel like we actually belong in the world, because I currently just don't. I feel like a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Most of the time.
Yeah.
I feel like a freak in the
Same.
world, and I can't connect to people, and that nobody's going to like. I had the opposite problem. Nobody's going to like me because I'm such a freak. That's where I'm at. So I'm trying to bridge that gap somehow. I don't know how exactly.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we're
I'll
all
figure it out.
working on it. Yeah. We're all working at
Yep.
our own level.
We're doing our best.
Yeah.
But it was a good talk, and I appreciate some of the insight on what we discussed, and appreciate the fact that this was not scripted at all, that we were just sort of interacting back and forth. And I feel like this might be the first conversation where I've actually had like an aha moment, like this kind of discussion. So
Love that.
yeah, I love those aha moments.
Let's make that normal.
What a place to end.
As my husband would say, normal is just a setting on the washer.
He's so funny.
Oh
my.
well. Anyway, if you're listening to this,
And you're still here?
yeah, if you have survived the weirdness,
You get a gold star.
welcome. Yes,
You'll have to provide it for yourself.
I was gonna say leave your information in the comments. We'll send you a gold star, but just go buy your own. That sounds better. Anyway, if you're listening to this and you know someone who struggles with feeling normal, or has trauma or addiction issues or anything like that, feel free to share this.
Yeah.
Yes, please
We
do.
really appreciate, that people take the time to listen and share, subscribe, like if you're on YouTube.
Yeah. The usual
There you go.
usual stuff.
Or
Usual stuff.
Spotify. Well, it's audio, but still.
No, it's video.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They can subscribe on Spotify. They can share on Spotify. Can they like as well?
Mm.
You can leave comments or
Can
review.
can you give it a thumbs up? Like
I can't remember.
I don't spend a whole lot of time on Spotify, so I don't really know.
I think
Somebody
it's just
could say in the
reviews.
comments.
I'll look. I'll find out.
I don't know. If you're on Spotify and you can like it, subscribe to it, and share it, or leave a comment, feel free. Because
Yeah,
we'd like to hear
please
from
do.
people.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we appreciate We appreciate your time, and
Yeah.
hope you learned something, because I feel like I did. And
Me too.
spread us around. Help us to grow.
Please.
Yes.
I'm Stephanie Dunham.
I'm Evelyn Mason.
I'm Rochelle Knapp.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for joining us as we discussed such an important topic. We hope you got some food for thought and encouragement to keep going and keep growing. See you later, Bear Club.